So Rabin, the son of Ravada, said to the name of Yitzchak, Kol haragil lavi lebeis hakneses v'lo b'yom echad. If you come every day to shul, and you took a day off, because Baruch Hu mashal boy, Hashem asks about him, he inquires about you. Hashem says, hey, what's going on with David? Where is he? What's going on with Yankel? Where is he? Shnema mi bachem yoy Hashem shomea b'kol avdoi, asher holach hasheichem ve'ein noiga loy. He doesn't have this noiga. Noiga means light. He won't have any light. Imnu dova. So it's mashma from there, from the pasuk. Hashem asks about him. Says the gemorah. Oh, so let's see. If he's going, imadavar mitzvah halach noigalei. If you don't come to shul because you're doing a mitzvah, you're helping a woman carry her shopping across the street, an old lady, you're doing chesed, you work in Hatzalah, so you can't come to shul. Noigalei, you get the light. There's some type of light, some type of noiga. A glow. I'm not sure what the literal translation is. There's some type of glow. If you went just for davar rishus, you went to work. You went to sell some whatever it is. You went to the Fila pizza store. Then you don't get the light. Yiftach b'shem Hashem. You should trust in Hashem. Why are you doing the davar rishus? Why are you going to work? Have bitachon in Hashem. Trust Hashem. My timer, why? Since you should have trusted Hashem and you didn't trust, so ein noigalai. So the mashmais from here is that if you're doing a davar rishus, you're working. Only if you're rogel. Rav Yitzchak bar Avin says only if you rogel to go to basic knesses and then you don't go, then you should have trusted Hashem. You go every day. You see that Hashem takes care of you. So why do you decide to take the day off? Don't take the day off. But if you never go, then maybe this doesn't apply. That's what someone will be medayek in this memra.
But it doesn't make sense.
It could be, by the way, from here. The Zayah says the shul is called the Eish Noiga. Lashon of the Zayah. The shul is called the Eish Noiga. Maybe that's where the word synagogue comes from. Eish Noga, synagoga. The Gemara says it's called the Eish Noiga, even though we don't find it anywhere called the Eish Noiga. But here, this gemorah, Brochos Davav and Beis, you see that literally, he's not actually asking anyone. He knows everything. Take a look in Rashi. Mashaboy Makti Vashaplain Lama Leiba. Hashem wants to know why you didn't come. He wants to know what you. In other words, the Gemara is saying he's asking, why are you coming? If you're not coming for a mitzvah, it's one thing. That's fine. If you're coming for if you went for davar rishus, it ain't good. So that's what it means. Hashem asks. Hashem doesn't just say, "Oh, I didn't come to shul. What happened?" Hashem starts analyzing why don't you come to shul. I think that's a good point. I didn't point that out. That's what he's asking. He's asking, what's the reason? Why didn't you come? Why did you take the day off? Of course he knows. Who answers? He answers. He knows the answer. Amar Reb Chaim. Says Reb Chaim, B'shasha HaKadosh Baruch Hu ba basic knesses v'lei motzah b'asar, when Hashem shows up in shul and he doesn't see there's 10 people there, miyadu kayas, he's immediately angry. Obviously we know this doesn't mean literally Hashem's angry. Hashem doesn't get angry. What it means is that there's some type of kas. The mid of kas shines down on the world. I came and there's no one here. Okay, so you see that Hashem doesn't like to show up the shul when there's a minion. Anyone who designates a specific place for tefillah, Eloke Avraham be'ezrei, the God of Abraham will help him. When he dies, what a humble person, a chassid, what a righteous person. He's one of the Talmidim of Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu menal undercover makom. How do I know that Avraham Avinu himself designated the place of Davin? He woke up early to the same place that he always stands. What does it mean? The Gemara says, what does Amida Sham? Amida mean? Amida means tefillah. Pinchas stood and he davened and he prayed. So the first point is over here is, where do you have to kaveh makom tefillah? So we have a machlekes. There's a machlekes. What does it mean kaveh makom tefillah? Does it mean in your house? Because Avram Avinu was kaver makom in his house. He didn't go to shul. It wasn't shul. So some Rishonim say it means Rabbeinu Yonah, Talmud Rabbeinu Yonah. You have to be in your house. Have a specific place. Don't daven one day in the kitchen, one day in the living room, one day in the bedroom. Have a specific place because that is where you can concentrate. That becomes a holy makom. Some say it's because Chassidus. I don't know. When you make a place holy, huh?
Why are we talking about davening in your house?
So it could be talking about when you're davening in your house. You can't go to shul for whatever reason. You blew it. You can't go to shul today, right? You're watching the kids. There is no minyan. You're davening at home.
Yeah.
So don't daven randomly in a different place. Have one place, and in that place you'll create a shras hashchira. That place will bring kedusha. Others say no. Halacha l'maisa Shulchan Aruch brings, and it's the Beis Yosef brings the other shitas. That what? The Rosh. That means in shul. In shul you have to have a specific place. You go to shul. In your shul you should have a specific place. Rabbeinu Yonah says no. Once you go to shul, and you go to any shul. Any shul is a makom of tefillah. You don't have to be kaver makom of tefillah in a shul. You have to designate a specific shul. Any shul's good. Shul is good. In your house, you have to have a specific place. Shulchan Aruch says you should try and have a specific place in shul. And what they ask is, why is this guy? This is a good kasha. Why is he called an Anov? You have a specific place in shul. Why are you an Anov? You're humble. So Rabbeinu, what's pshat? That's called you're humble because you kick everyone out of your seat, saying, "This is my seat." Everyone out, that means you're humble?
I never do. I never kick anyone out of my seat.
Right. Lehefech, the guy's a bad guy, but so why is this guy humble? You have your specific place in shul. You see anyone with one place in shul, you know he kicked people out of the seat 1,000 times, right? Why is it a guy's called humble? So says Rabbeinu Yonah, you know why? Because he starts davening in the back of the shul. And after a while, people come up and say, Chashuv a guy, come to the front, move forward, take Mizrach, right? And he says, no, this is my makom. I don't want to be kaver makom tefillah. I don't want to move seats. Oh, you don't want to sit in the mizrach. You don't want to come up front. You're humble. Interesting pshat. Others say, what's pshat? Pshat is because, why do you have to be kaver makom tefillah? To stop distractions. If you daven every time in somewhere a different place, so you get confused every time there's this guy in front of you, that guy in front of you, there's things in front of you, here, there. When you have a specific place, it's much easier to concentrate. The Rishonim say you're supposed to sit down for an hour before you daven, or that's what they used to do, to meditate, to calm their minds, so they could concentrate fully. So, if you have your own place in shul, it's easy for you to concentrate and to focus. But if every time you jump around, it's harder for you to focus. So, what's that going to do being humble? If you realize you need to focus and it's hard for you, and you're doing everything you can, so you're an Anov. If you think, wherever I go, I can focus, I can zoom in, right? That's a shtickle gaiva, that's haughtiness. Do whatever you can to make it easy for you. That's why the guys are Anov. Maybe. But what? So another thing they ask is, why is he a chassid? That's called the guy super righteous, because you have a specific place of daven. So Rabbeinu Yonah says, it doesn't mean that that's all you did. A guy sits down in one seat, he's a chassid. It means you makbid in everything in tefillah. You did everything in tefillah. You done with kavana. You make sure you come on time. You say every word with kavana, and you dress properly. Even the last thing, which is you have a specific place you do, then you're called a chassid. That's what's considered a chassid. Doesn't mean you didn't do anything else in your life, but you just have one place you consider a chassid. It's interesting. Why is he a chassid? Says the gemorah. V'amar v'chalboi. Amar v'chalboi amar v'funa. Another name. Amar v'chalboi amar v'funa. Hayetzim beis knesses al yafsia p'sia gasa. When you leave shul, don't take big steps. Don't run out of shul. I think that there's a lashon with alif subsir gasa. Don't run. This is only said about leaving shul. Aval male going into shul mitzvah lemirad. You should run to shul. Shnema knew the fellow das is Hashem. It's a pasuk. We run. We're chased to know Hashem. And the Rishonim explain, someone that's chased, he runs normally. So even though it doesn't say in the pasuk he's running, but it means we're chased. We're running to know Hashem, so you should run to go to shul. It's a mitzvah when you're in the courtyard of the shul, run in. Don't walk in slowly like you have all the time in the world. There's a mitzvah to run, show excitement. And I think the Latzato says is that the chitzonius is more the pneumius, your externalities has an effect on your internalities. So therefore, when you run outside to come to shul, it's going to affect how you treat, how you emotionally think about it. It'll create some type of excitement inside of you, create this love, passion. Omar Rebbe Zera. Now we've got a couple of memories from Rebbe Zera. Oh, Rebbe Zera. Mereish originally once when I saw Chachomim running to shul on Shabbos, Amina, I said, I said, these people are being Mechal Shabbos. You're not allowed to run on Shabbos. Even to Sheman once I heard this memor of Rav Tanchum, the what? He says, that even on Shabbos you should run to drasha. They go after Hashem like a lion roars. No, now mirahid. And now that I heard that it's a mitzvah to run even on Shabbos, I used to say that Mechal Shabbos, but now I say now even I run to shul on Shabbos. Says the gemorah. Another memor, Amar B'Zera. Agra de Pirka Rita, the schar of the Pirka, of learning, going to hear the drasha in shul, is running, Rita. The Amar Bai, Agra de Kala Duchka, the schar of the Kala. What's the Kala? The Kala is that they used to have, before the regal, they sit down and had shiurim. Once in a while they had shiurim. And that the schar is duchka, the squash. Rava says agro de shmaisa svara. The schar of learning is the svara. Let's take a look in Rashi. It's fascinating Rashi. Rashi says agro de pirka, the schar of going to the parak. Ike kibul schar briyos. The main schar that people get harotzim l'shmoya drasha mepi chacham, when they go to hear the wise man lecturing. Is schar hamurutza, is a schar for running. Most people don't understand what's being said enough to be able to say it over. After time, that they should get schar for limud. Rashi says, massive chiddush. Rashi says that the schar, the main schar of limud is if you're able to say it over la'achazman, after time. It doesn't mean you're able to say it over right when you left. You don't understand, you don't have enough clarity to be able to repeat it next week. So what schar did they get? You worked hard, you matriach, you ran to shul to hear the drasha. Next Rashi, Agli de Kala. Shabbos Lifnei Regal, they called it a Kala. Shari Nesafim Lishmaya Hilchas Regal. They used to gather together to hear the drashas of the Chag. People spoke about halachas of Pesach, halachas of Sukkot. So what's Ikas schar there? The squash. I guess Rashi doesn't say it because you don't understand enough to repeat it over. He's already said that. So what's schar? The squash. So agru de shmaisa svara. The ikaschar of saying a shmaisa is a svara. Shu yagev v'terach. He works hard. Umechashev, when you think about it, lahovin taimay shel dava. The fact that you sit down and you think about what you're learning, you're working. That's the schar. So Rashi seems to be saying, the gemorah here, Rava, Abayir, Zera, that the schar for learning is the effort you put into it. If it comes easy, you sit down, you put your feet up, and you're learning easy, you get schar. Avad you get schar, but they're saying there's more schar when you tareach. When you think about the lombas, you think about the svar in something, you have to analyze it, you think about it. That's what the schar comes from. Ben Yada says, well, I don't know, what's the difference between the fact that he says the schar of the perek, when you go to hear the drasha, is running, and he says the schar of the regal is the squish. What's the difference? He says like this: a chacham used to come to town and start giving a drasha, right? Chacham showed up in town, gave a drasha. People were in the fields. All of a sudden, someone would say, "Hey, there's a drasha going on in shul." So people, what do? They dropped their bags and they ran to shul. They ran to shul. So because they ran to shul, they shouldn't miss any of the drasha. They get massive schar for the drasha. But the regal, the drush of the regal wasn't like a random thing. All of a sudden a guy came to town. That was planned 3 months in advance. They know, Erev Yom Tov, 12 o'clock, there's a shir. So why are you running to shir? When a guy's stum shows up, starts giving a rosh, you got to run because, you didn't know there's a rosh before. Someone starts talking, you run to shul, right? But when it's in advance, everyone knows there's going to be a shir, so everyone comes to shul, everyone puts down their shovels and whatever and they go to the shir, right? So everyone's there, no one's running, there's no schar for running because everyone walked. You know there's a shir, you have to run. So what's the schar? You're sitting in a shir, you're squished there for 2 hours, you hear a drasha, that's a massive schar. Some want to say, you know what this means? It doesn't mean the ikka schar of learning is the squish, is the running. What they're saying is this is the best way to be Mekayim a mitzvah. It means the Mahadran way, to do the mitzvah b'shleimus, the best way you can, the best way to give a share is the best way to learn is with tircha, is when you try hard to understand it. That's the ikka schar. The ikka schar is when you run to shul, when you're squished, it's a more schar. It doesn't mean that's the ikka schar, the only schar. It means it's the best way of doing it. The Pasha says that's what, and the raya they bring is because the Gemara says the next line is agri the tainisa tzidkasa. The schar of the fast is a stock you give. So if you didn't eat that day, you saved extra money. Now you can give more tzedakah. The Gemara says so. They used to give tzedakah. Anim were poor. They were hungry. They waited outside shul after a fast. They could go buy food. A tremendous schar. You give tzedakah. It's like, wow, what a schar you get for giving money to a hungry poor man. You give him tzedakah at the end of a fast. That's like the main schar of the fast. But they ask, it's mefurish, the fast itself is a massive schar for the fast. For fasting is a big mitzvah. It's not just the chesed. So they prove from here that the other things also. It doesn't mean that you don't get schar for hearing a shir. You don't get schar for coming to learn. Of course you get schar. It's just another dimension, another element of the schar. Rashi seems to be quite clear that the real schar is only if you can say the Torah. The point of learning Torah is you can say it over. You can understand it enough that you can repeat it. Right? That's why he says the ikka schar is that you can repeat it over what you learned. Lachazman. Either way, you get schar for running to shul, for coming, for trying. And the ikka schar of learning, according to Rava, is you tereach, the tircha. Now, there's for sure some type of extra schar you get for working hard. That's all these things have in common is the fact that you have to go the extra mile. You're working extra hard. That's the extra schar, the added schar. Some want to say that pshat is it means there's a big klal. The reason why I'm sitting on this is because it's a really shver Rashi to understand. It's a hard gemorah to understand. But the main schar of learning is the fact that you have to run to shir. You're sitting in traffic and you're honking. Or the main schar is you're squished. It's not comfortable. Some say that what it means is like this. Schar b'hal maleka, schar mitzvah hal maleka. There's a klal. You don't get rewarded for mitzvahs in this world. There's no reward in this world for mitzvahs. And others say, okay. So what it means here is the schar you get in this world. The agra, the schar in this world, is for running. For that, running to shul might not be a mitzvah, but that's what you get schar for in this world. Sitting uncomfortably in this world, if you're willing to make yourself uncomfortable in this world, you get schar for the mitzvah in this world. The schar, the other moicha person. The reason why I don't like the pshat is because with Torah specifically it says the Talmud Torah is something that oicha person b'olam hazeh v'ken ke'emes l'olam haba. You say it every day that for Torah you eat the fruit of learning Torah in this world. You get schar in this world for learning Torah, but the keren, the core, stays for the next world. You just eat fruit of it in this world. So why would you say that this means that the schar of learning Torah is in this world? Okay, others want to say that. Okay, we started enough. Let's keep going in the Gemara. First wide line. Third wide line. Amr of Papa Agra de Beitamya Shituka. Amr of Mazutra Agra de Tanisa Tzidkasa. Amr of Sheiches Agra de Speda Deluyi. The schar of a hesped is Deluyi, making people cry. When someone gets up there to give a spade, the schar is to makes people his error emotions. Yesh lahavin what? It's a mitzvah for people to cry in a hesped. Interesting. Rashi says, "Koil b'loshen nehi ve'agmas nefesh yivcha Hashemim." There's a mitzvah to make people cry in the hesped for whatever reason. Go figure. Amar Vashi agrid de beihilula mili. The schar of a beihilula is mili. Is the schar? What's a beihilula? Is where a chasna house, right? The schar in the chasna house is what mili. The words you say to the chasna. You go to the chasna, you dance for half an hour. What's the real schar there? You tell the guy, "Wow, beautiful chasna, beautiful kala. I know the kala's family, amazing people. What a nice kala you have." You misamech the chasna. That's the ikar schar, not dancing. He doesn't need to exercise. The ikar schar is the semech chasna b'dvarim. Say a nice word. Nowadays it's very hard to be mekayim the mitzvah because the music's blasting way too loud. You can't talk to the chassan, right? you never say a word to the chassan. It's like 300 decibels. Anyone who davens behind the shul, nikra rasha, called the rasha. Wow, what does that mean? Shenema soviv rishayim yisaleichun, around rishayim yisaleichun, when in the back, in the misaviv, when they're around the rishayim. This is only talking about where you don't turn your face to the shul. If you're facing the shul, leis lan bar. There's no problem. So massive shaila. What are we talking about over here? L'chayra achari basic knesses means, in other words, the door is always facing the Arna Kodesh. Nowadays, how it's set up nowadays. You have an Arna Kodesh in the front, the door in the back. So if people are davening outside the shul in the back, behind the door, right, and they're facing the other way, you're not facing Mizrach, you're not facing shul, you're not facing anything. So. And if you're facing the other way, it looks like you're davening to a different place. You're not davening to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Everyone's facing Mizrach, you're facing Ma'ariv. So if you, it's a bit fair because, like, well, of course, you're going to be facing Mizrach. If that's the Achari Beis HaKnesses, so of course you're facing Mizrach. Why would you be facing a different way? Like, what's he talking about? It's like strange, the shtickle. Like, of course, so someone to say he's talking about where Achari Beis HaKnesses, you're standing behind the Arna Kodesh, and you're facing Mizrach, but then you're not facing. It looks like someone walking past sees you're not. Someone who doesn't know halacha, you're supposed to be facing Jerusalem, Yerushalayim HaKodesh. He'll see you're not davening towards the shul. So some say when you're outside the shul in the front, you should face the shul. You should face the Arna Kodesh, because it looks like at least your tefillahs are going up from the middle of the shul. But Pashtus is talking about when you're davening behind the shul, behind the door, or in the back of the shul, then you have to be facing the front. And if you face the front like everyone else, there's no problem with it. There was a guy davening behind the shul. He wasn't facing the shul. Eliyahu came past Chazia, and he saw him. He showed himself up as a shepherd, as an Arab shepherd. Amalei. Kaduba Kaimis Kamei Kaduba, sorry, there's more than one. There's more than one Rishus. There's more than one Bayrei. Kaimis Kamei Morach Kaduba Kaimis Kamei Morach Sholav Safsra Vekatle. So this tire, this shepherd, some say it wasn't Eliyahu Novi. They changed the girsa. He took out a sword, Vekatle. Did what he did. Chopped him up. So, because it looked like he's davening to more than one Rishus. Like, what? You're standing in the back, you're not facing the shul. It looks like people walk past. You see, there's a lot of takonis in Chazal that you should do things. It doesn't look like you believe in Shtei Rishuyas. It was obviously a big thing in those days. It shouldn't look like you believe there's two different powers in the world. There's only one power, Shem Echad. You can't say Shema, Shema. If someone gets up and says Maidim, Maidim, the Chazan, you shut him up, you remove him straight away, you don't ask questions. If someone says Shema, Shema, you shut him up, you remove him. You're not allowed to say things. It looks like there's two Rishuyas. In those days, even nowadays, many people felt there was two Rishuyas, V'amevin Yovin. There's more than one power. No, there's only one power. And if you're davening outside the shul, you're facing a different way. Oh, so you're not davening where everyone else is davening? You believe that there's two powers out there? My krum zulas livnei adam. What does this mean? A krum zulas livnei adam. I looked in the article. He doesn't explain what this word krum means. I'm trying to find out what the word krum. I think krum means like, I don't know if there's a technical word for it. When you bake bread, and the outside of it, it's called a krum. Like a crust, yeah. Oh, crust. It kind of means crust. That's what I think. Omalei. These are things that stand in the highest places in the world. But people, they take it lightly. Reb Chaim and Reb Lezer, they both said, once a person needs to come on to people, once a person needs help, he needs financial help, his face changes like the crust of the bread. Shenemar krum zulas levnei yodam. My krum, what is this krum? The Gemara says a different shot. My krum, Rav Dimi says, there's a certain bird, the other side of the ocean, his name is Krum. Once the sun shines, all of a sudden this bird changes colors. I didn't get a chance to look up if there's such a thing. They had it in those days, I guess. You ever heard of such a thing? The sun shines, it changes colors. I think it definitely applies to certain fish that light changes colors. You have certain, the things that crawl on the walls. What do they call them? That they change the colors based on chameleons. They change the color based on the surroundings. That they think. Okay, so we find these things.
What animals do that?
Yeah. Oh, okay. They both said, he's judged by two things, water and fire. He brings a drasha that person is judged with Eish and Mayim, two opposites. I'm not sure exactly what he means by this, but okay. We'll wrap it up here. Have a wonderful day. Shkoyach.